この青リンゴめっちゃ美味しい。Wait a second, this apple isn't even blue. So why do we Japanese people describe this as blue 青? Let's find out. What's up, Japan enthusiasts? 皆さんこんにちは. I'm Max. Welcome back to my channel where we dive into the world of Nihongo and Japanese culture. So today we're gonna be exploring a Japanese language mystery that actually dates back centuries. So if you look at a Japanese textbook, you will see aoi translated as blue. But in reality, in Japan, we Japanese people actually use aoi to describe the color green. Why? So we're gonna be looking at the history behind it and how we can use it in a natural way like a native Japanese people do. So let's get into it. To understand this mystery of ao, we actually have to go back to ancient Japan. Even though in the modern days, it's said that we have more than 460 words to describe color in Japanese. Originally, in Japan, the Japanese language only had 4 words to describe color, and everything was described by using only these 4 colors: aka, kuro, shiro, and ao. So aka is red, kuro is black, shiro is white, and ao is blue, right? In ancient Japan, the old Japanese language used aka to describe anything that's bright, and it actually comes from the word akarui. Akarui means bright, and akarui became aka, or they used the word aka to describe anything that's bright, right? So akarui and aka. Kuro actually comes from the word kurai. Kurai means dark. So when people wanted to describe anything that's like dark in color, then they would use the word kuro to describe that darkness. And shiro actually comes from the word shiroshi. It basically means clarity, so clearness, clarity, shiroshi. And that became the word shiro to describe anything that's clear. And lastly, ao actually comes from the word awai. Awai means pale, faint, faded, and like delicate. So anything that's faded and that's like pale, they were described using the word ao in ancient days. And here, if you've learned Japanese for a little while, you've probably noticed that these 4 words can be used as an adjective by adding i at the end. Akai, kuroi, shiroi, and aoi. But other color words that we have now in Japanese language, we can't really do that except for kiiroi and chairoi. But here, even in kiiroi and chairoi, we are using the word iro after the part of the word that describes the color. Ki and cha, ki iroi, cha iroi, kiiroi and chairoi. And other than those 2 and the 4 original color words, we can't create the adjective by just adding i. Like midori-i doesn't exist. Murasaki-i doesn't exist. If you want to use midori, murasaki as colors, we would say midori no and murasaki no i. Wow, I didn't know about it until I did some research for this video. And here's a fun fact about these 4 color words: aka, kuro, shiro, and ao. So aka and ao can be paired, and shiro and kuro can be paired too. So in the Japanese language, we have words to describe the state of being or the conditions of things by using these 4 color words. Kao ga akaku naru, so blush basically. And kao ga aoku naru, pale. And for shiro and kuro, we have an idiom that goes like shiro kuro hakkiri saseru. Shiro kuro hakkiri saseru. That means to make things clear. So if it's white or if it's black, we will make it clear. So we have words and idioms with using the color words, but actually, other than those four colors, we don't really use any other colors to make up words like that, idioms like that. This is really interesting because we say 白々しい、黒々としている、赤々としている。But we don't say キキとしている or チャチャとしている、紫紫としている。So it's like really interesting that all the words that we use actually use these four colors. Well, enough of these kind of historical talks. Back to owl, because owl covered a wide range of colors in the ancient days. It became the default word for the bright, vibrant colors in nature. So the word of green, midori, didn't even exist in Japan back then. But after the word midori was introduced to the Japanese language after the World War II, people started using midori to describe green, but in nature, like in the cultural habit that Japanese people had, we still describe the greenery of nature by using ao. So like the intro of this video, I called this ao ringo. Ao ringo. Even though this is not even blue, because it's green and it's nature and it's beautiful, we still have that sense of using the word ao for green things like this. So even though we have a word for green, which is midori in the modern Japanese language, we still use ao in very specific and fixed situations where we want to highlight freshness or newness or greeniness of nature or other things. One of the common examples is the traffic light. When you see this traffic light, it's green, it's a green light, but we actually call this green light specifically for traffic lights, 青信号. 青信号. Shingo means traffic light, and 青 means blue, even though it's green. Well, I actually think this is actually green, but well, anyways, we call it blue traffic light, 青信号. And the next common example is whatever is in nature. Like I said, for like green apple, we call it 青りんご. And also, if the grass is really green and beautiful and looks really fresh, we say 青い. Leaves in grass, we call it 葉っぱ. Leaves, like leaves, 葉っぱ. And we call those green leaves 青葉の緑葉 or 緑葉. 青葉, green leaves. And like I said earlier, 顔が青い. 青ざめた顔. Pale face, 青い. It's not even green or it's not even blue. It's just pale. But because we use the word 青 for pale things in ancient days, so not we but they, 顔が青い. 青ざめた顔. And also the word 青 doesn't always come with the meaning of color, but it also has the meaning of youth, young. So we have a word 青2歳. If they call you 青2歳, then that means they're saying that you're young, you're too young, and you are not grown up yet, so 青2歳. And also people might say, 君はまだまだ青いね. まだまだ青いよ. Which means you're still very young, you're very young. Well, personally, I don't really use the word 青い to describe somebody being young, but we have other words that use the kanji for 青. For example, 青年 means young people, and 青春 means youth or the springtime of life, like young, those memorable era of your life, 青春. We use these words with 青 in them with the meaning of youth. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Did you know any of these? You probably always wondered why the green light is called blue light, 青信号, why other colors except for these four colors don't use the form of adjective with blah blah e. Understanding these concepts and maybe the history behind it is really nice to know when it comes to you being more comfortable and confident in using those words because now you know why they are used in those meanings. So next time you're in Japan, or if you ever come to Japan and you see a green light, green traffic light, you can just say, "Oh," you'll basically be a Japanese pro. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions or any suggestion, any requests, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, please hit the like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel Max Japanese, please subscribe and please consider joining our memberships. So see you in the next one. Bye.